Today I want to tell you guys a couple things. Lane, will you pull that door shut for me, please? If you have your phone, will you put it down on the table for me, please? Want to tell you guys a couple things, but before I do announcements, you guys have what's called a bell ringer today. So we kind of introduced these to you guys the other day, but over on this board right here, this is what we call the bell ringer board. Okay, it's a board on which we put bell ringers. And in the back of your book, on page 476, there's a page that says bell ringers. Up at the top it says bell ringer week number, and on the bell ringer board it says week and then a number. So what do you think you would write on that blank on the top of 476? What? 3. This is bell ringer week number 3. So you're gonna write 3 in that blank up at the very top where it says bell ringer week number 3. And then the way that bell ringers work is that it has each day of the week on it, right? It says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And under each day it says question, and then it says answer. So each day when you guys come in here, there's going to be a question written on the board. You're going to get your book out, open to the bell ringers, and while you're kind of waiting for class to start, you're going to copy that question down, okay? If it's something, sometimes it'll be something that we went over the day before or a previous day just to kind of review and lead into today. If that's the case, you get your own answer. Some days it's going to be something where you are going to have to look up the question, right? And then you write it down, and then we kind of go over it before we start class. So it's really super simple because you just have to come in, write down the question, find out the answer, write that down. We're going to go over it. And your bell ringers are 10 points a week. So on Fridays, I will check your bell ringers. And as long as you have them done, which we're going to talk about them each day in class, right? So it's really hard not to have them done. As long as you have them done, then you get the 10-point grade. Pretty easy. Cool. So you guys as freshmen are in the top box, then sophomores, and junior seniors. Okay. So you guys are going to write down the question, what is soil? And since we didn't talk about this before, while I'm doing some announcements, I would love it if you guys would look that up and write that down. So a couple things that I want to tell you while you're doing that. Tomorrow or tonight, there's Powder Puff practice at 6:30. We've had quite a few people, specifically some of our girls, be quarantined. So I'm not going to guarantee that Powder Puff is still going to practice this week, but it also has not yet been canceled, okay? So as of right now, we're still going to have practice tonight at 6:30 for Powder Puff. If we postpone Powder Puff, this will still count as one of the practices that you have to go to, but then we'll do it a different week. The downside to postponing it is, yes, some of these girls might come back, but as of right now, let's say hypothetically we're missing 10 people who signed up for Powder Puff that can't play because they're quarantined, but we could postpone it, and then next week there could be 20 out, we could be shut down. There's all sorts of things that you just really don't know what's going to happen. So I will let you know what we're going to do about Powder Puff soon, but as of right now, we're still going to have the practice tonight. If you are going to Soils with me on Thursday, there's a practice tonight at 5 o'clock and tomorrow at 5 o'clock, and I should have seen your grade check already for that. Other than that, you guys have dues and forms due on October 1st. If you're going to Soils with me, I need your forms before Thursday. But that's really all that I have for you guys on the freshman side of things. I will not be here Wednesday or Thursday this week because Wednesday I will be with some sophomores, juniors, and seniors at the farm science review. Thursday, I will be at the county soils contest. And then the following Tuesday and Wednesday, I won't be here because Tuesday I will be with whoever qualifies for district soils contest. And Wednesday we'll be at the legislative leadership conference. So you guys are going to be doing some different things. Don't miss me too much. You guys have questions about any of the announcements? Yeah.
Do you have to sign up for the Powder Puff thing?
There's signups out in the hallway.
Okay.
And you can sign up to be, so girls play football, boys cheer. But you can also coach or ref or be the chain gang. It's the chains on the sideline. So some different opportunities there. But even if there's lines filled, you can still sign up for it. Yeah, those aren't closed yet. So they're on that whiteboard out in the main hallway. There's papers. You guys have questions? Anything else? As of right now, we're still planning on doing our Fight for a Cure lap, our walk at the football game on Friday at 6:30. That will still happen as long as the football game happens on Friday. Okay, so as long as that happens, the walk will happen even if we do move Powder Puff. Cool? who figured out what soil is? Hit me with it, Zay.
It's a mixture of organic matter, minerals, gases, and liquids, organisms that together support life.
Is that the same thing you got, Lane?
Yeah.
Read it for me.
We did that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. A combination of minerals, organic matter, gases, and organisms that support life.
Say it for me again.
Mixture of organic matter, minerals, gases, liquids, and organisms that together support life.
Am I missing anything?
Liquids.
Liquids. Anybody have anything else? All right, so a mixture of organic matter, liquids, minerals, gases, and organisms that together support life. Now I want somebody to look up for me, somebody who had a device out, what is dirt? Look up, what is dirt?
Unclean matter, especially when
Fire,
it
water,
comes to
breathe.
skin.
Say it one more time for the people in the back, say it really loud.
Unclean matter, especially when in contact with the person's clothes, skin, or
There he is.
Give him this one.
We'll have COVID. You guys need to stop.
Stay away from me.
You guys suck. Actually. You guys have people from other schools. Other schools.
You guys try to remember the
Fight
error.
you, huh?
Said pray for Aaron all weekend.
Somebody, Dana shouted that during lunch too because she saw it on Snapchat. Okay, so in unclean matter, what do you say? An unclean matter that, especially when in contact with people's clothes, skin, or possessions. So dirt is something that is unclean. Soil is something that supports life, right? So we are going to be learning about soil. We are not going to be learning about dirt. Okay, we are going to be learning about soil. We are not going to be learning about dirt. We will not call it dirt. Okay, what are we learning about? So good. Okay. So today we are going to learn about the very, very basic layers of soil. They're what we call horizons. Okay, the horizons of soil. And it's really important to understand how it all works together and stuff like that. So we are going to flip. We're going to draw a picture today. Is that cool? Pictures. On page 72, there's some lines up at the top, and just to really drive home what it is, I want you to copy down then what soil is on those lines. Okay? Okay. So go ahead and copy that on those lines, and then we're going to draw a picture in that white space. Let me take this to the office. What? Eat. We are writing that definition one more time on those lines, just to really drive it home. And then we're going to draw a picture. And in that picture, you're going to see a big white space. And on that big white space, we are going to pretend like this big white space is equivalent to that, just at a different scale. So when you draw, you're going to kind of scale it the same way that I scale the drawing to the board. You will scale to your books. Does that make sense? Okay. Erase, keep, erase, keep. No. Can I erase the first word? Yeah. Slowly just wipe the away from the beginning. Yeah. You just have to beat my eraser. You erase your traveling too fast. Okay, so on that blank spot, we're gonna draw a picture. But before we can draw, well, yeah, we're gonna draw a picture. Isn't it beautiful?
Is it supposed to like take up the whole space?
Yes, this is proportionate to the white space, but probably draw it over to the side like this is. And to give you some inspiration in case you're not super sure what we're drawing, you're gonna draw this cup. This is your visual to your art. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. It should be the cup in essence on your paper. That's a cup. Beautiful.
Hey, so Mr. Gusman said he wants a soil Sunday,
But I don't know what he's talking about.
Wow. Wow.
everybody was holding notes.
Oh, listen.
Would you like to study soils with us?
Yeah.
Zoe, would you like to study soils with us?
Bring a roller chair here.
This is our inspiration for our drawing. So
Roller
we're just drawing right now. Okay. Everybody have the box.
Yes.
All right, there are 6 soil horizons that we are going to draw today. All right, that we're going to learn about. And we're going to start from the bottom and work to the top. Just like, was it Dre that sang that song? Started from the bottom, now we're here. Now the whole soil's all the way up here. Thank you for, you are the first person who has laughed at any of my jokes today. And I felt like my whole vibe has been so off. Okay, so the first one is really deep. So we're gonna draw right there, okay? And we're just gonna put a couple lines, just like that. And this is what we call the R horizon. Okay? The R horizon is also known as bedrock. Is that in Minecraft?
Yes.
Look at that, you know it already. So bedrock is defined as weathered parent material. So what is it that pushes things towards the ground, or that pulls things towards the ground?
Gravity.
Gravity, right? So when things are in the ground, gravity still works and things still work their way downwards. So basically up here we have a whole lot of nutrients and really good stuff, all right? And as gravity continues to pull it towards the center of the earth, it goes inward and inward and inward and inward. And eventually all of the nutrients and all of that give way. And because there's so much pressure pushing down on the R horizon, it's a really, really solid,
Bless you.
so sorry. It's a really, really solid portion of the earth. So it's really, you can't really dig through it once you hit, it's basically like a giant boulder. That cool?
Yes.
Is it again?
Yes.
So because we drew a picture of our cup, now that we have formed bedrock in our picture, it is time that we form bedrock in our cup. So once I put these in there, if you guys would, go ahead and flatten them out so they cover as much of the bottom as you can. No, do not smash them. Because bedrock is really big portions of rock at the base of the earth. So we want to keep these really big slates of rock.
No, one sheet. Hold on, what is that from? Yes, that's what I knew I heard.
You're just going to make sure they're really flat on the bottom of your cup. So that it's a good section of bedrock. No. You do not want to crush them because you want to keep them whole big slings of rock. Bedrock.
Yes.
Pretty sure teachers don't let their belly show.
Your belly isn't showing.
Not right now.
No one wants to be a teacher.
You do.
Can I say it?
I'm afraid that's incorrect.
Does that inspire you?
Yes, but I don't want to be a teacher. I'm actually going to college for forensic psychology.
Oh, that's cool.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
It's a face.
It's a case. College for accounting. Guess what? Accountants don't have personality. So.
That's what.
Okay. So do you guys see your bedrock down at the bottom?
Yes. Yep.
Really hard sheets of rock on the bottom of your cup. Yeah. You with me? Okay, cool. So the next layer, the next horizon, if you will, what would you think that it would be called?
L.
The L horizon?
What?
We're gonna call it the C horizon. This is what's called the substratum.
What'd she say? He said L and then you said
She
L.
looked at me and she was like, "There's no way you know that." That's what I see on the board.
So this is weathered bedrock as well. However, this bedrock is a little less compressed. So you can kind of draw it like camouflage or something. So it's basically still nutrient-less bedrock, but it's not as super compressed into one solid big piece yet. Okay, so it hasn't been pushed down on enough that it's totally all bolted together yet. It's just, it's really rocky, it's really hard. There's not a lot of great stuff going on down in there, but it would still be that bedrock material. So Christian is gonna walk around and give everybody a paper towel. And Zoe is gonna walk around and give everybody, actually, Zoe's gonna walk around and squirt everybody with hand sanitizer. And you are going to take these 3 Oreos and you are going to smash them into small pieces. And
Another one? I've done about 8 of them.
I really do. I really do.
whose book do you need?
Alexis Brown.
Okay. You are going to smash this into little tiny pieces. So I can smash the other one? No. You can smash it. Yes, Parents still recommend folding your paper towel over the Oreos and then smashing so you don't get cream all over your hands.
Real mature, guys.
Real mature. What?
I want to get a
I'm just going to say this out loud for the posterity of the cause. I'm recording this class for our friends at home. So, please help me with that. All right, so you're going to crush these Oreos. Crush them, crush them, crush them. And then put them on top of your cookies in your cup.
I'm struggling.
substrate. Not
Sorry.
So when you shake it around, you shouldn't be able to see your bedrock from the top of the cup. But when you turn it sideways, you should still be able to see that with maybe some little pieces kind of crumbling down to the sides.
I swear mine looked way better freshman year.
Did we use
I
those
changed it up a little bit.
Freshman,
No,
we didn't use
I added that in this year. I think we'll do that. Okay. Your next layer that we are going to add is a lot looser in compilation, okay? This is what we call the V horizon.
Gravel.
And this is your subsoil. So sub usually means other or underneath. So subsoil means it is the soil that is underneath the main soil, okay? So your subsoil is kind of the zone of accumulation. Meaning that as things kind of sift through the dirt, it just kind of ends up here because it's not a really hard place, but it's not really a place where a lot of things happen either. It may have some rich minerals in it, but not a ton. And it is kind of the result of leaching or downward movement. So the word leaching means that it's kind of moved down through the cracks. So if water leaches, there's a leach bed. Leach beds are used a lot in like sewage systems. So the water just kind of leaches through that soil and kind of makes its way through that soil. So it's kind of the result of all of those things from above just kind of leaching down into it. It's kind of just like a catch-all pit, okay? So it's not super rich in minerals, but it is still soil. It's not your hard rock anymore. So because it's not super rich minerals, each of you guys take one. Always gonna come around and give everybody a spoon.
Wow.
And you're going to use your spoon, which has now become a shovel.
A trowel.
Trowel. You're going to use your shovel or your trowel to scrape this into your pudding cup and spread it out. Katie,
I'll take it.
You're in this bit while I'm
what? So again, you're scooping that vanilla pudding in and then spread it around so you can't see any Oreos or substratum when you look at it from the top. So it should look like this from the side now. You guys seeing that? Looking like that from the side.
How about we go eat peanuts? White volleyball, y'all.
Okay, your next layer that you are going to draw. Anybody catching on to the pattern here? What's it gonna be?
Hey,
Your
I know
A
what the top one is.
horizon.
I know the top one is.
Don't spoil it. Ironically, even though it is not the top one, the A horizon is what we call your topsoil. Okay, I know it's really weird, but Your topsoil is where a lot of your organic matter and minerals are. So all the really healthy stuff that the earth needs, this is where your living organisms are. What living organisms live in the ground? Worms, some
Mold.
bugs, some mold. Okay. And this is where most life is sustained.
You know what's there? Protozoa.
So again, because this is still pretty broken up, but it's rich in minerals and goodies, we are going to use a chocolate pudding because it's more rich in color. We can put on top water. Vanilla. You can put this in the trash can.
Giant pumpkin by the head. Yeah. There's
Like growing?
yeah, but like there's giant pumpkins by the soil.
We have a giant pumpkin plant in my house, but they only grow little ones. Like about like this. Well, if you ever need little pumpkins here, we have the pumpkin vine in my house. No, it's little pumpkins. They're literally mini pumpkins.
Oh,
If you ever need any, let us know, 'cause there's like 800.
okay.
Christian, tell me about the more.
You're going to take your trowel again, and you are going to put your topsoil on top of your subsoil and spread it around so you can't see any of the vanilla pudding from the top. But when you look at it from the side,
I'm overflowing.
you should have a pretty good demonstration of your A horizon, your B horizon, your weathered bedrock, and your hard bedrock, right? Is everybody seeing that? Seeing that in your own cup too? Y'all see how that's looking? So, here's for
Do I work at Starbucks?
Shut up.
So there's actually two more layers that we need to learn about really quick. So there's two more layers. There's one more on top of A.
I know that one. I know that one.
What is it, Christian?
Organic.
It is the O horizon.
That's actually right.
And that stands for organic matter. So the O horizon is basically a bunch of decaying stuff. Okay, so your leaves that fall off of the trees and settle on the ground and eventually decay, your grass that kind of dies in the winter, your animals that die, right, birds that die and fall out of the nest and land on the ground, okay, right, those decay into the earth and become really, really nutrient-rich, dark kind of stuff in the soil, okay? So all of that organic matter, those things that are falling and dying, and kind of settling there. That's super nutrient rich. What's crazy is the O horizon is only about 2 inches deep. Okay? Your A horizon is about 12 inches deep. Okay? And then your B horizon is about 36. So, your 2% of O horizon, that's where a lot of like your grass and stuff like that is going to grow out of. So really, if you pull up sod, you're probably pulling up most of your organic matter. And then your roots and stuff are going to grow pretty much through the A horizon. And maybe down into the B horizon a little bit, but not a lot.
14-inch roots.
Okay, you guys seeing that? Now there's one more horizon that falls right in between the A and the B horizon, and that is called the E horizon. All right, and this stands for a word that's really fun to say. Everybody say it with me.
Alluviation.
Alluviation. Everybody say it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Alluviation. All right, now say it, but really exaggerate the way that your mouth moves, and it's really fun. Alluviation. Do it. It feels funny. Alluviation.
Do it.
It's funny. Okay. So alluviation, E-L-U-V-I-A-T-I-O-N, basically means downward movement.
Wait, so what's the epidermis?
That's the layer of your skin. So if you guys look at the layer between your chocolate and your vanilla pudding, do you guys see like kind of a light brown area? Just like a light brown film that kind of where the two meet? You guys see that? So that would be your alluviation horizon. And that's kind of the really leach zone between where all the really nutrient good stuff from the topsoil just kind of mixes together with the subsoil. So that's what we call the alluviation layer. Do you guys have questions about the layers?
No.
All right. Now, one thing that we do with our learning about soil is understanding a little bit of the uses and some of the science behind it. So we are going to learn 3 more things about soil before we enjoy it. The first thing is looking at your layers. Where do our living organisms live?
I was kidding. I'm not saying.
Where would they be?
Wait, where do the living organisms at?
You wrote it down.
It's on the board.
The living organisms are going to be in the A horizon. So Christian's going to bring you around the living organism, okay? And you're going to take this little guy who happens to be FFA colors, not all of them, but some of them, and here's what you're going to do. They like to live just under the surface, right? Unless it's raining, worms don't come up to the surface because they come up to get air so they don't drown when it rains. That's why they're always on the sidewalk on a rainy day. But we're going to take this guy, and it's not raining, so we're going to put him in our soil sideways, all right? And then we're going to use our shovel just to welcome them back home and push them down into that A horizon. So, and you kind of cover them up a little bit. So your wormy guy should not be touching the vanilla pudding, but he should be under the surface. Hey, did you guys hear that? Your wormy guy should not be touching the vanilla pudding, but he should be under the surface, okay? So put him in there, let him swim around a little bit. Now, what are some things that we plant in the ground that need life sustained? Grass,
Gummy bears.
flowers. What about in agriculture?
Gummy bears.
Crops. We plant beans in corn and stuff, right? So stick with me for just a couple more minutes, guys, so we have time to enjoy these. All right. Zoe is going to come around and give you your corn seed. Okay? You're going to get 3 pieces of corn seed. All right? And here's the reason. When you plant a garden, there's an old wives' tale that says 1 for the blackbird, 1 for the crow, and that will leave 1 to grow. Everybody say that with me. 1 for the blackbird, 1 for the crow, and that will leave 1 to grow. So when you put 3 seeds in a hole, the birds will probably get 2 of them, but 1 should take to root. Now, if we were going to look at the soil, before you do anything, do not put them in your soil yet. If we were going to plant our corn, in what layer, by looking at the board, would we want to plant our corn? In the A horizon. That's where your most minerals and good stuff is. So you're going to take your shovel, you're going to dig 3 little holes just into the A horizon. Don't get it in the vanilla pudding. And you're going to plant your 3 little corn seeds, and you're going to cover them up. You usually plant them about 2 inches deep when you plant corn. Okay. And then cover them up. Now, what was the last thing we said we could put on our soil? We could plant grass seed. So I happen to have some grass seed here to add. And the way that you plant grass seed is by sprinkling it, and this is real life. This is like real life how you plant grass seed too. So if you ever have like a dead spot in your yard, is you sprinkle it on top of the soil. Okay. But then you always want to take your hand and just kind of comb it over the ground like this so that it doesn't blow away in the wind. So you're going to sprinkle it on top of your soil and then just take your shovel and really lightly kind of work it into the pudding. So if you went and blew on your soil, it wouldn't blow away, okay? So there's your finished product. So you guys should all have a living organism. You should have 3 corn seeds planted, and you should have some grass seed on the top that you just lightly brush in. Do you guys have any questions about your soil horizons? Questions? All right, down on the very bottom it says topsoil is easy to recognize. You're going to put dark in color and rich in organic matter, all right? Because you can see your topsoil is a lot darker of a color. Once you have that written in and you have planted your grass seed, I wish you bon appetit and you may enjoy your soil.
It's just satisfying.
It is dark in color and rich in organic matter.